Good morning, everyone. Lolita Reid here, and I continue with my lives and short clarity boosts, tips and insights. And I hope you can hear me because my internet lately is a bit wobbly, but that's normal. So, okay, yesterday I talked about my 8 piece framework. And I mentioned that the first P is presence. And we will continue today with the presence, with the P presence, because presence sets the foundation for everything. Because in presence, we talk about you, we talk about your values, we talk about your design, how you operate, and therefore it is very important to explore this area of your life and of your business, actually, of everything. So, presence. Instead of presence, today I'm going to share my insights about being responsible, about responsibility. And I don't know the definition of responsibility according to dictionary. However, in my world, responsibility is being 100% responsible for your actions, for your choices, and for whatever is happening in your world, inner and outer. And I know that will trigger some of you. Actually, that statement triggered me a while ago. But I invite you to stay with me and just explore, just be open to explore, and maybe you will find something suitable or in alignment with who you are. So, you probably noticed that lately we have massive amount of reactions. Everybody reacts to everything. And look, I am as guilty as charged, or whatever is this the saying. I do react as well, and that's normal because we are human beings with emotions, with feelings, and we came here as soulful beings to experience all that. So that's okay. That's normal. However, I invite to avoid reaction mode, and I call it reaction mode. And some other sources you will find that reaction mode is called victim mode. I don't want to put any labels. However, reaction mode is actual proven. We do react. So I invite you to avoid reaction mode and stay in responsive mode, where you observe the situation, you ask questions, you see how you feel about it. And like my granny used to say, Lolita, sleep on it. So I'm not inviting you to sleep on it every time, because some situations you need to respond right now, right there. However, I invite you to be conscious and aware and unaware of the situations where you react instead of response. And that's where 100% personal responsibility comes into equation. And that's very important to note. And when I talk about responsibility, look, there is nothing wrong or right to react one way or another. But I invite you to be conscious, and I invite you to be aware what is happening when you react. So when you react, how do we know that we react? Usually we blame somebody or something. And when I say blame, you just listen, just observe. We blame everything and everyone. We blame Trump, we blame the system, which, like, listen, the system, yes, it's another part of the story, but we blame God, We blame everybody and everything instead of taking responsibility and just assessing how we behave. What did we do that what attracted this shit in our field of attention? So blaming. And when I talk about blaming, I also want to mention one story. I had a conversation with one of my friends, and he said, well, look, I don't believe in God. He did and still does horrible things, and probably he is, the source of all evil, almost. And I said, hold on a minute. So give me an example. So he said, yeah, look, all the wars that he started. And okay, I said, give me another one. And he said, well, what about children dying? As painful as that could be, God is not responsible for wars, for actions that people made, for children dying. I know it's painful. I know it's creates a bit of a commotion inside of us, but God didn't start the war. We did. And when I say we did, we, the people, or evil people, whatever is the word, children dying because we didn't take responsibility when we allowed them to be, or we fed them with poison food. We allowed them to be vaccinated when there was no need to be vaccinated. And all these things, so who did that? God didn't do it. So we blame God, and it is easier to blame somebody or something instead of taking responsibility. And we could expand on this, but and we are not going to, but blaming is an indicator that you are in reactive mode. Another indicator is shaming. Oh my God, how can you say things like that? How can he say things like that? How can you do that or another? I was frozen for a minute. Okay, so shaming. Again, first of all, everybody is entitled to have their opinion. Everybody is entitled to have their values. And your reactions, like, who cares? Like, just be honest with yourself. Who cares what you think? But when I say that, yes, it is important to stand for your values, but it's not normal or sensible to expect that everybody will accept your values or everybody will be on the same page. So that's shaming situation. Now, the last but not least, and probably there are more, but I just took the main three. Complaining. Notice how often we complain, during the day. The best example is when we talk or I used to even talk with my friends. I said, oh, my husband didn't do that, or another. Well, first of all, I was complaining to the wrong person. And the second of all, I clearly was lacking some sort of communication skills, because instead of complaining about my husband to my friends, I could have easily went to him and said, darling, let's have a conversation, because that or another. So it is good to be aware of things like that. So again, just to conclude, we know that we are in the reactive mode when we blame, shame, or complain about someone or something. And by doing that, we take our personal responsibility and put on somebody or something. And in fact, that says something about us. That says that we are not working on ourselves, that we don't want to be in charge of our lives, and it's easier to blame somebody. And in fact, another thing that I didn't plan to mention, but it just came to me, we all talk about, oh, we need to have control of, we need to have that power, our personal power and control and all this. So guess what? When we blaming, shaming, and complaining, we have no control. We leak our energy and we literally give away our power. So I invite you, my God, I went over the time now, but I invite you to be an observer, and not just an observer, but be conscious observer. And I know, look, it's, we are not going to wake up tomorrow and we will stop blaming, shaming, and complaining, because blaming, shaming, complaining is on the on the government level. Show me the leader who is not blaming, shaming, complaining the opposition. Well, there may be few, but in my I didn't meet them yet. So you can be that change. You can be that change. So start today. Promise yourself that you are not going to blame anyone or anything for whatever is happening in your life, whatever actions you take, whatever choices you make. Be responsible for those choices. Be responsible and feel responsible, not just be, and not just say, oh, I'm responsible. So again, just to conclude, be observer. And in fact, also you can check when you blame, shame, and complain. And I'm not saying you are, I am blaming, shame, and complaining as well. So this is this, I share this insight so we all somehow be informed that this is happening, and it's happening everywhere. So it's not that easy, just stop complaining or stop blaming. No, but if we aware, we conscious about that, then of course we can. But then when we observe our thoughts and feelings and sensations those blaming, shaming, complaining thoughts create, we can ask ourselves, well, how is all this benefit me? And I'll tell you that much. And when my sister says, nobody's nobody asked for your opinion, but I will tell you anyway. Nothing good comes from that. When we blame, when we shame, when we complain, we create commotion, we create bad sensations. Our probably for the age like mine, my blood pressure goes up, my heart starts overbeating. So why would I do that? And again, in this very moment, everything is good. Nobody to blame, nobody to shame, nobody to complain about, because I take the responsibility. And if I cannot control some things outside my control zone, then I absolutely need, stop blaming, shaming, and complaining. So I will close now with a Ho'oponopono forgiveness prayer. And I know some people, I met many people that they know this Ho'oponopono forgiveness prayer. Some they don't give a slightest sausage about it. But I'll tell you that much. This is the easiest way for those who are busy and for those who have this tendency to complain or blame, shame, and complain. The minute you catch yourself doing one or two of those reactions, come back to yourself, breathe in, breathe out, and repeat Ho'oponopono forgiveness prayer, because this prayer is not about them. It is about us. It's about me and me clearing my inner shit. Pardon my French, and I don't speak French. So here we are. If you feel safe, close your eyes. If you don't close your eyes, especially if you're driving, but you can repeat after me, and you can put one of your hands, preferably working hand, on your heart and say as many times as you want, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And that's, we will close this session. Thank you very much for listening or watching afterwards. I truly appreciate your presence. And if you have any questions or you want to discuss something or even challenge me, my email is info@lolitareid.com. So you always can email me or just comment under. And let's have that conversation. And let's be in responsive mode rather than in reactive mode, because responsive mode creates mutual understanding, creates mutual discussion, and that's what we need right now. So again, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. That's from my heart to yours. Have a nice day. I'll see you next time.